Can you get rich being a real estate agent? As a licensed real estate agent, but a slightly more famous real estate investor, I get asked this question all of the time. And the truth is, yes, you can make a lot of money as a real estate agent, but not the way they tell you. So I'm gonna tell you the truth so that you can get it done. Let's go. I'm gonna share with you 5 ways that real estate agents can make lots of money, over $1 million a year as a real estate agent. I'm gonna share with you the best strategy available right now for real estate agents to use so that they can make double at least what most real estate agents do. And I'm gonna share with you my biggest secret on how to get rich in real estate in less than a year. So let's talk about real estate and real estate agents. Real estate obviously is something that you probably already know about since you clicked on this video. We know that it is apartments, houses, condos, timeshares, vacant lots, apartment buildings, real estate. We know what real estate is. Well, in real estate, when you buy and sell real estate, there's usually a real estate agent. There's someone usually that represents the buyer of that real estate property, and there's an agent that usually represents the seller. And there's usually 2 agents in each transaction because there's 2 people's interests involved. The seller wants to make the most money that they can when they sell the property. The buyer wants to pay the least amount available and get the best property that they can for their money. So they have competing interests, and so the agents represent their interests, and they are experts in real estate to help guide both the seller and the buyer in the transaction and give them knowledge, information, and expertise that they wouldn't normally have. And in return for doing that, real estate agents pick up a commission. They get paid on the purchase price. So let's use a quick example. You have a house, they're selling it for $100,000. There's 2 agents involved. Remember I said the buyer's agent and the seller's agent. Let's say there's a 6% commission. The buyer's agent gets 3%. The seller's agents get 3%. The end. That's how we get to the 6%. And that's what happens in real estate in most cases. So as a real estate agent, you definitely can pick up lots of commissions by either finding people that want to buy property or finding people that want to sell property, or people that want to buy and sell businesses. Real estate agents also do that. But we're just going to talk about real estate. We're not going to talk about necessarily selling businesses, okay? So long story short, most real estate agents make most of their money by finding buyers and sellers and getting commissions. But that's the old way of doing things, and that's probably not going to get you rich. So let's talk about how you get rich. As a real estate agent, like I said, you mostly get your money through commissions. But I left out one little key part in why it's so difficult to get rich as a real estate agent. Real estate agents are salespeople. They are not like the broker. They are not the owner of the commission. So when a real estate agent works with a buyer, for example, and they get their 3% commission, they have to split that commission not only with the other agent. Remember I said there was a 6% commission and one agent gets half and the other agent gets half? Well, guess what? There's 2 more people involved that need to get paid. And that's the buyer's broker, the buyer's agent's broker, and the seller's agent's broker. I know you're like, what the heck are you talking about, Noelle? Well, the broker is like the company that owns the real estate listing and owns the business. Real estate agents are just salespeople. So let's go back to that example that I gave you where you had a $100,000 house that sold. The buyer's agent got 3%. You got $3,000. Well, guess what? The salesperson, that agent, is not getting that full $3,000. They have to split that commission with their broker. Essentially, it's the broker that got the $3,000 and they split it with the agent. So in order for an agent to make a lot of money, they have to get to a certain point where they've sold enough houses where the broker's cut is a lot less. There are some brokers that take 50% of the commission. Okay? And it's very typical for a new agent to give up 50% of their commission to their broker. So let's use that example. So instead of getting $3,000, you would get $1,500. Okay? And again, that's not bad. You did your work, but you did all the work. You had to drive around in your car. You had to use your gas. You had to get dressed. You had to get business card. You had to take those photos. You had to be a real estate agent and pay for everything yourself. And then you have to split the commission with the broker. It's not fun. It's a little bit icky, and I did not enjoy that as a licensed real estate agent. Again, here's my warning. I'm still a licensed agent. I'm licensed in the great state of Texas, and I'm licensed in the great state of Florida. I absolutely love real estate, and I continue to keep my license, but I do not love being a real estate agent and splitting my commission with my broker, which is why I do something different. So instead of splitting all of your commission with your broker, which is again, not something that I too much enjoy doing, instead of being just a real estate agent, I decided to be a real estate agent and an investor, okay? As an agent investor, I can pick up commissions if I want to, but I can also use my real estate expertise to be an investor. I can use that MLS to find my own self properties. I can use that thing to help me list my properties and sell the properties myself. I use my license as an investor. I don't really care anything about finding clients. You're not gonna find Noelle handing out her business card to drive people in her car and help them find houses. Now, if you wanna flip some houses and we wanna make some real money and walk away with some real checks, then you can call Noelle and her company. But I've moved past that. I didn't really enjoy driving people around in my car for $1,500. I didn't. I realized when I was at a closing table, I had done a fix and flip for an investor. I started representing investors. Like I said, I got a coach, and then I got around a lot of real estate investors. And I realized that they were walking away with checks for $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, while I was walking away with a check for like $3,000. And the difference was they took more risk than I did. So they walked away with way more money than I did. So I'm telling you this, instead of focusing on being a real estate agent, you might want to be an agent investor. Buy and sell properties your own self and start having your own rental properties and making your own money in real estate and not relying on your broker to share their commissions with you. So instead of doing that and sharing my commissions with my broker, I decided to get properties myself. I would use the expired listings and I would use the education that I had gotten about real estate, and instead of marketing to find people that wanted me to drive them around in their car and get the commission that way, I used my education instead and what I had learned about real estate investing, and I found people that wanted to buy homes and fix them up and then we sell them. I found people that wanted to be landlords and wanted to be investors, and we partnered and we did things. I found people that had property problems and their house needed repairs, or they were relocating, or they were going through a divorce or a bankruptcy. And I focused on helping those people and getting those properties for my own self and keeping all of the profits for myself. Now, there's some people that are going to probably hate this video, like some of the large real estate brokerage companies probably are going to hate this information that I'm giving to you. However, I'm just telling you what I did and how I made all the money that I made. It definitely was not by going to real estate school, driving around people in my car and trying to find more and more clients. I instead decided, instead of getting a small commission, I would buy properties my own self. I would get mortgages. Again, it was not my own money anyway. You would find mortgages, hard money lenders, private lenders. Again, I have a ton of videos teaching you all on this, and I got those properties myself. I used forced appreciation, fixing the properties up, adding value to them, and then selling them and walking away with really large checks. Then I started keeping some of those properties for rental properties, and that's how I built my wealth, and that's how you can do it too. That's the key. So I've created an entire course that teaches you all of this, a complete free training, okay? Go to noellsfreetraining.com. That's Noelle, N-O-E-L-L-E-S, noellsfreetraining.com, completely free, and it's in the domain name, noellsfreetraining.com. I've created a whole training. It's about an hour long. It'll teach you all of it, how to make money, the exact formula for making money, big profits without losing money in real estate. Go ahead and watch that, because I want you to get all of the training, all of the information, all of the knowledge that you need to be successful. This is Noelle. To your success.